Wild card.
I reset. Does that
Hey, it just
come
came
back on?
back.
Okay.
Yep.
I don't know why.
Does somebody want
Well,
to look at the video and see when it cut out?
Look at the. I don't know
sure.
what that
Let's do
means.
that. I'm going to stick us in intermission for a second.
Hello and welcome back to the Starfall Collective Season 2, King of the Cloudy Sea, a Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition adventure. We seem to have lost what we previously did of the first part of this episode, thanks to technical difficulties with Twitch. But I am Matthew Talamini, your Dungeon Master. I'm a writer and web developer based in Providence, Rhode Island, and you can find my stuff at MatthewTalamini.com. That's MatthewTalamini.com. With me are some of my college buddies, Sir Robert Burbage, playing Weathern and Elven Paladin of Oberon. Say hi.
Hi, I'm Sir Robert Burbage, the
David
Farm.net.
Farrell playing Kara Ukra Gravy, a Lizard Folk Ranger. Say hi.
Hi.
There's also Dwight Canal playing Fennetir and Trilo, an Elven Cleric of Pond. Say hi so people know who you are and tell them where they can find your stuff.
Hi. Don't look
Josh
for my stuff.
Stewart playing Malmer, an Elven Cleric of Chernobog. He's not here right now, but he would tell you to look for him as Jay Suich all over the internet, and that you can find him on Reddit and different other places, and that there is a subreddit for the Starfall Collective where you can talk to him about fan theories. He's the one in the American flag. So far in this episode, our characters are Brave, Trilo, and Weatherin and Malmer. Should I read the first part again? Should I get us back into it again?
You
Go
can
for
summarize or read it, sure. Doesn't hurt.
There is no true sunset out past the ragged edge, and the only true night is the few hours when the sun hides itself behind the distant mass of the world. In the twilight hours between, stars stream across the black sky above, while lances of sunlight strike up from below, piercing through wherever there are gaps in the eerily glowing green of the mist-shrouded trees. Blue sky and sun below, flying stars above, wrapped in clouds all around, the Fujin rests herself. Sailors make repairs. The wounded are treated, not as effectively, without the ship's priest. And Barkus, the former first mate and presumed current captain, prepares to launch a nominal rescue mission under the command of Sarah, the second mate. Malmer, about an hour after you get back aboard the Fujin while you're resting, you have a terrible experience. The nearness of your patron Chernobog, the sense of his presence close by, which you hadn't even realized you were sensing so strongly, suddenly vanishes. You feel very cold and alone and tired. You take one level of exhaustion. When you instinctively reach for your warlock powers, they are still there. But it's like you've been walking on hard rocks wearing thick hiking boots, and somebody just took your boots away. Magically, you can still walk. You can still use your powers. It's just uncomfortable, and it'll take a while before you can do it with the true proficiency that you once had. And it doesn't feel the way it does. From a game perspective, also, in addition to the one level of exhaustion you take, which will go away soon, from a game perspective, there are no longer any levels of Warlock available from Chernobog. You will have to either continue multiclassing, find another Warlock patron, or somehow restore Chernobog to his former glory. Weatherin, Trilo, and Malmer have all had a long rest. You are back to full everything except for Malmer, who has that level of exhaustion. Sarah, assigned to undertake this rescue mission for the captain, who almost everybody is sure is dead, having been last seen vanishing into the maw of the king of the cloudy sea itself, the silver squid, Enma, the great kraken, gathers together her crew and goes to start off. Two things happen before you actually leave. The first is that one of the female dark elves tries to go with you, asks Sarah for permission, and after a brief discussion, Weatherin convinces Sarah not to let the dark elf come along, mostly because of Sarah not wanting to deal with any drama. The next thing that happens is that Malmer convinces Sarah herself not to come along and to let Trilo and Weatherin and Malmer go out in the boat alone. Once they reach the place of the great battle, which is where the motions of the great kraken made a big gigantic hole through which you can see blue sky and sunbeams coming up, they do find one of the sailors. What happens is that Weatherin starts blowing a magic horn that he has that people can hear if he knows who they are. It blows silently, but they hear it loudly in their ears if they're within a certain distance, and one of them is. Then this person trips and falls, and Trilo hears the thump, puts a rope on, dives off, slips, loses some hit points banging against some branches.
A significant number of hit points.
Is currently dangling and has cast, I believe, a cure spell on the sailor that you found.
Yeah, I rolled a 1, and I have a -2 modifier. So I either hurt him by 1 or gave him 1. I think the rule is that I gave him 1 hit point.
But then, Trilo having jumped down after this other sailor, Malmer makes Weatherin a very interesting proposition.
Listen, Weatherin, now that the idiot's gone, this is the only time we're going to get to speak openly and frankly. I'm not an idiot.
I can still hear you.
I'm not. Shut up. I can tell that you don't want to go back to that boat any more than I do. So as long as we've got a ranger on board with us and a nominal addition, I say we take a vote. My nomination is that we make you captain of this here bark. We head north, south, east, west, or whichever way you feel like. But I have no desire to go back to that boat. Alternatively, I can do this. And he suddenly looks like Goryo. An away game or an inside job, the choice is yours.
Malmer. He is an idiot for sure.
Hey, I can still hear you.
If you guys are talking quietly so as not to be heard, then he doesn't hear you.
We are.
You're really far away, dangling at the end of a rope, like more than 30 feet away from them.
It's not difficult to hear.
There's a forest in between the two of you.
Yeah.
There's wind whistling in the trees.
Mal is speaking with discretion.
I'm in my preferred.
Oh, he's invoking his rangerness.
Yeah.
What does that do?
My perception gets doubled.
Yeah, your proficiency bonus gets doubled. So does that mean that I need to make a deception check or do some sort of check to speak quietly?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me make a check.
Rolla contested, but since he's dangling and he has just tripped and fallen, and I'm gonna
Hurt
give
myself.
Trilo disadvantage on this. But yeah,
Can I?
Hmm?
He's been saying things like, "I can hear you," right?
he hasn't. We're determining now whether he has heard you or not.
Ha! I invoke the fact that you said that you had to use message to communicate with us, which means that normal communication is blurred. By your own admittance, sir. Your own admittance.
I didn't say I had to. I just
I think he
wanted to
just used
show off
message for
all of
fun.
my.
All right, well, fine. I rolled a 14. You tell me what I'm adding to that to talk quietly to somebody.
Just stealth.
Haha! I rolled
Okay,
two
17.
17s. I will then add my D4 plus 4, 21. I can hear you.
Weatherin, roll stealth yourself. He can hear Malmer.
Okay. Let's see. I forgot.
Oh, and by the way, my proficiency bonus on perception is 0, which doubled is 0.
That is
I just rolled
really
really.
wonderful. 12.
Haha!
Okay, you guys are speaking quietly, trying not to be heard. Trilo, do you say, "I can hear you"?
Yeah, because Trilo's an idiot.
Okay.
Okay.
So he does.
So
say that.
Watherin sighs deeply, grabs 2 more ropes, ties them into a 100-foot rope, ties it to his rope, and drops him another 100 feet.
Only another 50 feet.
Watherin
you
was
took
a good
2.
scout.
I got it.
Mal gets on the boat and starts pedaling so that they're being dragged behind.
He's like, donk, donk.
I can still hear you, guys.
Okay.
Okay, after this,
So,
with this kind of treatment, you can no longer hear them.
yeah.
All right.
Malmer, you're right. I don't want to go back. Honestly, I think it's our best chance of survival. I don't think being out here is going to work for us. But I will tell you this. I think the sailor deserves a chance at life. Oberon would want that, and I will do what Oberon would want. That said,
I'm not going to kill anybody out here.
Goryo, as Goryo is better than Goryo as Goryo. So I'm in. I have a couple of conditions. 1, we don't bring back any Drow or Goryo.
We don't
2,
bring back any drow?
we're out here looking for some
Oh.
goofus.
Mais bien sûr. He
2,
says in like high elvish, whatever. But of course. Go ahead. 2.
Good. 2, all I care about is getting to Air Mountain. I've got something to accomplish on Air Mountain, and if you as Goryo gets us to Air Mountain next, then, having accomplished my purposes, I will assist you in your purposes, whatever they are, unless it requires me doing something like killing people, murdering people in cold blood.
Certainly. I have no desire to murder people in cold blood. I serve a god of vengeance, not wanton death.
Great. Good job.
However, we may need to have a little talk about that. You're not trained as a priest, are you?
You know, I'm a warrior priest.
He can do ceremonies and stuff.
We just lost somebody.
We just lost
I'm
Josh.
still here.
He'll be back soon.
He will be back soon, or else. Well, he's the one who asked about the priesthood, so I can't do anything about it. Well, in the meantime,
yeah, think about
spoons. Sorry,
You playing the bassoons?
spoons.
Oh.
What'd you say, Matt?
Brief note that Weatherin would probably be thinking of is that the mission of the ship is to get money, and there had to have been a lot more levy gems in that temple.
Yeah, I'll bring it up with Goryo.
Yeah, he seems like the sort of person who would want to sink the Temple of Chernobog.
How are you going to deal with Trilo with this?
Trilo didn't hear what we were going to do.
No, he didn't.
He heard
Trilo
that
did hear that
we both think he's an
Josh
idiot.
looks like Goryo.
No, because he
And
said,
Trilo
or I
also
can do.
knows that
He
no, he
said,
did.
or I can do this, and he snapped.
Yeah.
That's all you
You
heard.
didn't hear you didn't hear what he said he would do.
Gotcha.
He did it non-verbally. So Trilo
Poor
has the idea
Trilo
that
heard-
something is up.
Poor Malmer
Yeah,
just fell
Trilo
over the
heard that
edge. We
Malmer
don't know
wants to
where he
leave.
went.
Okay.
But based on the fact that we're going back to the ship, he's going to think that Weatherin said no, or whatever.
And then y'all rescued Goryo when I wasn't.
Yeah, I'm about
there.
to take care of that with Malmer now.
Yeah.
Josh, you back? You ready?
I'm back. I'm ready.
10 animals I slam in a net. All right, let's do it. So,
All right.
what was the last thing you heard?
Yeah, so the last thing I heard was me talking about my clever idea to use minor illusion cantrip to spam the visual effects of a bunch of necrotic energies and loud blasts.
We didn't hear that.
Okay,
We didn't hear that.
Okay, so that's what I was saying, was I want to make a mock battle, so you should probably take out your sword, and Mal gets out his weapon.
Mal, I have a better idea.
Oh. Mal is all like trying to describe the ins and outs.
If you don't
By the
mind-
way, hold on one second. Trilo, make me an acrobatics check. They're continuing to thump you along. I think you're probably circling this hole, and he's just.
That's right.
Dunk,
We're
dunk,
just
dunk,
barely
dunk.
thumping him, not hard.
Yeah, but he's gonna have to make an acrobatics check to avoid a little
Sure.
damage.
I rolled a 9.
Okay. Oh, I didn't need to roll that. I wanted to roll a d4. Here we go. Here's a d4. Yeah, this mistreatment earns you some black eyes and bruises to a total of 4 hit points.
You roll a d4?
It's the smallest die that I have.
Could have
Okay,
flipped a
continue.
coin.
That
Okay.
damage represents all of the thumping that he's going to get during this conversation.
Malmer.
Ouch.
You do. Tell me if this sounds good to you. I'm going to object because that knucklehead down there heard that you want to leave the Fujin.
Guys, pull me up.
I'm going to start pulling him up and claim that it was you that pushed him down or whatever. And then when he gets up close enough that he can hear us again, I'm going to say, "Goryo, how did you find us?" or something like that, right? We're going to fake a little scuffle, and then I'm going to throw a little bundle of this garbage into the hole, and that'll be you falling through the leaves. And then I'll hoist up Chuckles down there, Twilo, and tell him that Goryo came back, you were getting mutinous, and Goryo and I managed to shove Malmer off into the abyss. Good enough?
Good enough for me.
All right, now we've got to get Twilo and Professor
Valerian.
X down there. Yes. Up into the ship. Good?
Sounds good to me.
How long is this Goryo thing gonna last?
Well, let's see. Until I can send away the drow and get us
No, I mean, how long can you keep it up?
indefinitely. Mal says, to put it this way, let me put it this way. You've never seen me in my true form, and everything melts away, and you see a body that is just covered in these horrific, haggard cuts and gouges in his flesh, and he looks rough. Like all the really cool, beautiful tattoos are gone, and you see a body that is ravaged. And so he puts back on Goryo, and he says,
Yeah. Great. Malmer says, "Gross, put it away." Good?
all right, he looks like Goryo.
Okay.
All right. So we stop rowing, or as you row a little bit, you're pulling it in. I start pulling him, Twilo up, and shout, "You can't just drop him down there. Help me get him back up."
Okay.
In your voice, in Malmer's voice.
Yeah, and Malmer's.
No,
Yeah.
let's cut him off. Whatever.
Yeah. Listen, he's dead weight. All he's going to do is slow us down. If you and I are going to take this boat, we can't take him with us.
I am pulling him up. Wait, what is that? Goryo! How did you survive?
Get down here! Get me out of these branches, you dogs!
So, push over there. Row there, Malmer. Let's get Goryo. And I keep pulling Twilo up. And then I tie Twilo off, leave him dangling at about 30 feet so he's below, he can't see anything. And I say, "Goryo, I can't believe you made it."
I'll be damned if I'm gonna follow you again.
Malmer, shut it.
What?
And then we fake a little scuffle, and I chuck the stuff over the edge, and I sit and Goryo, I'm sorry. I know he was a capable man, but he was gonna kill you. I had to push him.
Oh, I saw the murderous intent in his heart. You did well, soldier. Tonight, we will drink my finest wine aboard my own boat, and in the morning, we'll track down that wretched worm of a kraken. Are there able-bodied men down there?
You're the captain.
Roll performance.
All right. This is a heck of a time to roll a 19. That's 19 plus
I rolled a nat
5 is 24.
Malmer, do you remember your exhaustion?
All right,
You
let
have
me
to
roll
roll these
again.
checks with disadvantage.
Not as good, but not terrible. 15.
I got a natural 20 plus my 2.
Okay. This is, as far as you can tell, Trilo, the words that you heard. I mean, if you want to, you can. If Trilo would be, actually, you know what? This is like an event, capital E event. So Trilo should roll a. Oh, what is it to see through lies that you're not sure?
Insight.
Lies? Yeah, insight.
Or just wisdom?
Yeah, Trilo, roll insight.
Oh yeah, true intentions of a creature.
Oh, almost got an 18, but it was just a 4. Let's see what that gives me. That is a total of 5.
Yes. Trilo, you're taken in by this ruse.
Nice.
Oh, Captain Goryo, there's a sailor down here. We got to pull him up. Pull me up. I got him.
Yeah, it's a lady.
Valerian. It's a lady. I got her. Hilarion. She's hilarious.
She actually is kind of hilarious. She has some funny stories that she tells sometimes.
She's telling me a story right now. It's just the best.
You're doing a great job, Dwight.
I love it.
So we pull her up, and hey, ask her about anybody else. Have you seen anybody else down there? What can we do? We only found you and Goryo. You and the captain.
No, and I didn't even see the captain. I thought I was alone out here. I was terrified. Thank you.
He was right on the edge of the abyss.
Thank you so much for finding me. I don't know how people marooned out here usually die. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Let's get back to the ship.
Captain Goryo, shall we search for any other survivors? What do you want to do?
Make 3 passes. Due diligence. Every man who fell out there every man who fell in the battle against that monster deserves a good, honest try for their souls. And then we make back for the Fujin. By the way, Gorio that Mal has portrayed, his skin looks like it's just etched with acid by acid. Like he looks like the guy who survives Hannibal Lecter. Like it's bad. He looks like a very horrific acid etched version of Gorio. So
I love it.
yeah.
Great.
Um,
Aye, sir. And we do our loops.
And he uses minor illusion to make himself. Because I think it says you can do smells too.
Depending on your level, you can do one or more things. Like I think you can affect one sense, and then when you get to a certain level, it can affect two senses.
Yeah, so I'll just use minor illusion for smell, and it'll make him smell like the digestive juices of a kraken. He's trying to sell this,
So like barf.
Squid barf.
So Waitherin's going to do an earnest search. So we're actually going around. Waitherin does care. Oberon.
You do that. You search. You find nobody.
Okay. Let's head back, I guess. Or, I mean, it's up to Captain. We didn't find anybody.
I know. I'm here. I've seen everything. Back to the Fujin. Row, you dogs.
All right.
When we get back, Watherin wants to have an attitude of sort of like resignation and something like, not contrition, but disappointment that he was wrong about Gorio being dead.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he's affecting.
Mm-hmm. On the way back, Gorio is going to ask Watherin about the events that have transpired in the meantime. And does Watherin mention the chunk of whatever? I mean, do you want to narrate that, or do you want to kind of summarize that conversation?
Real quick.
Yeah.
Nobody's interested in going back to that temple.
I'm happy to say it.
It's up to your characters. I just don't want you guys to forget what else is out here.
Right.
Yeah.
I think while he's out, while they're out there, Gorio is asking Watherin and everybody to give them an update.
Before the battle, Captain Gorio, we found some kind of temple or something that had huge quantities of levy in it. Sarah and our boat managed to rescue some of the levy, and it's at the ship. So it's several King's ransoms.
Some of you say.
Yes, there's more. There was when we last left.
If I could get my hands on another chunk of that, I could outfit the Fujin with a sister ship. And together, the two of us could bring down that cursed squid. Point away.
Or even like
4 ships.
3 or 4.
Point the way, lad. Point the way.
Also, Captain, you kind of smell funny, so I'm gonna just make you smell better. So I do.
Huh.
Is that mend?
What?
You use mend?
How are you making him smell better?
Prestidigitation. I make it an odd smell, and that odd smell is like roses.
Okay.
I think I preferred the squid guts better. At least it was the smell of an honorable fight.
It smells like they shouldn't have put the florist so close to the fishmongers. Great.
Yeah, so I guess we show him the way if we know.
Yeah, you do know. It's you've
3
been
lefts and a right.
back and forth in these waters, in this area a little bit. So yeah, what you find when you come to the site of Chernobog's temple is huge floating chunks of masonry and sideways trees.
We should get out of here.
Trees, everything scattered and blown out in the light of a sun shining from below directly up at it. The shadows are strange as these granite chunks just float and spin slowly. Everything, there's no more pyramid shape left. It's ruined. It seems as though most of it is gone. There's so much. The size of the spheres from this levee that's been scattered here is so large that it's almost as if the whole area is weightless. It's not, but it has the appearance because everything that was not caught in one of these spheres with Levy at the center has fallen. It's almost a wasteland in outer space. Imagine like an asteroid belt or something with just random trees floating in it. You come to the edge of the universe, as far as you know, the world, the last of the trees that are holding together, and you can look out at just this graveyard in space.
And there's no way for us to get to it.
You can certainly come up with clever ways. For instance, if you pull up near to one of these floating areas, tie a rope to somebody and chuck them out there.
Well,
You
yeah,
can throw me
Goryo's
out
going to
there.
start. Goryo's going to start looking through the hold to look for some nets.
You're not equipped with nets. You're equipped with tangle harpoons on this boat.
Okay, tangle harpoon.
There's plenty of rope and stuff, and the tangle harpoons have lots of, I don't know. You know, you can. There's plenty of rope.
Okay, yeah. All right, lads. Let's start salvaging what we can. We can't take back much, but we may as well take back the primest chunks now before any sort of strong wind or storm comes by and blows everything away. So prioritize the good ones. See what you can get.
So roll me up.
Where we've got the light.
Roll me up perception checks.
Well, it would have been a 20, but instead it's a 9.
10.
Is that is Trilo helping us out with the blessing of any gods? Nah, it's not really a big thing. I don't think. And Goryo didn't command him to or anything. So, all right.
Okay.
What was that? What did Trilo get?
13.
13. Okay.
With a 13, Trilo, you are able to get a number of these big levy lumps. We'll say
levy lumps.
Hold on. We're going to do this. You're able to rescue 4. This is like, as far as you know, you might be able to buy all of 3 ways with a levy of this size. This is like, you've got enough that probably the elven government will want to buy it from you for use in, like, I don't know, floating warships or floating castles or military stuff. This is like
Or somebody wants to build a temple and make it float around out here.
The Hope Diamond. You certainly haven't rescued all of the levy that was here. A good deal of it seems to have floated way down below or way up above, where it's not surrounded by anything and there's no way to find it. If one of these just gets hit up into the air, it'll just go for a while, and then nobody's going to know it's there until a bird flies into it.
And it's off the edge of the world.
It's off the edge of the world. So finding 4 of them after whatever just absolutely tore this place apart, pretty good. Also, Trilo.
Another win for Trilo.
You find some books. There are some books just like floating.
Goryo is going to, when nobody else, or at least when Trilo isn't looking, use Mage Hand to bring some of these in.
Okay. Yeah, you actually find a section of the bookshelves that had been inside of the temple when you were there, and there are 5 books in there.
Okay.
You're able to salvage. Some of them
Okay.
have some kind of damage, like one of them is partly burned and stuff like that. But
Excuse me.
So that's it. That's it. We can only make that one check for pulling them in and stuff.
unless you come up with some clever way to use a different skill or something.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, Mal's got Mage Hand, so he would. I'm trying to think. I would like to try to use that to. Okay. Well, now that we have some levy, why don't we?
Stair.
What's that?
Build like some kind of platform.
Yeah, I was going to say, let's basically send somebody out on that chunk of levee, get them moving, and then make them go in a huge sweeping arc. And basically, what's that?
Isn't our ship sitting on levee? I mean, if the boat can't go out there, then why would a person be able to on top of levee?
No, if you've got enough levee, you'll just float, is the idea.
Yeah, we're doing that in the boat.
The boat is not completely weightless.
Yeah.
Oh.
So we're talking about basically making a giant, using the rope and sending people out in giant arcs back and forth.
Even with the 4 levee lumps, it's still not weightless.
Oh, I mean, if you could if you put these 4 levee lumps in your boat, then your boat and everything in it and around it will be weightless. Yeah,
another win for Trello.
And then
that sounds really dangerous. How do we get back?
Well, I mean, we can use the fan to steer the boat.
I hope there's air off the edge.
Yeah,
right. I mean, let's tie an anchor.
The boat to a tree.
Right? We don't
Captain Gorio.
Yeah.
These are obviously obscenely valuable. I would love to get more of these. My sect, whatever the word is, of the paladins, this would be a great boon for us. So I'm willing to go out on some of the levee. Let's just secure it with ropes, and I will go and
brave man. Good plan. Let's
bring
do
as many as I can.
What is it? EVA, extravehicular.
That's right, extravehicular
adventure. I don't know. An EVA. Yeah, sure. You tie some ropes to Weatherin, send him out there. Weatherin, make me a perception check and a survival check.
Okay. Before I do going out there, I'm going to bless myself. Whatever, all of us. Because that's a thing I would do. Oberon, bless me. I'm going to jump off the world. Sorry, you said perception and what?
Perception, and then after that, survival.
Okay. I rolled into my d20s, and I don't know which one I rolled. I'm going to roll it again. An 8. Okay, which gives me a 12 for perception.
Okay.
And then survival, a 15.
You're able to find one more floating lump of levee that you hadn't seen before.
Okay.
Because you went way out and you could see things from a different perspective. You saw a tree that was floating in a way that it shouldn't have been. And so you were able to locate one more lump from that.
A good chunk.
Yeah.
So we now have 5 chunks of levee.
Huge ones.
So we can buy the greater metropolitan 3-ways area.
Okay.
Something like that. Captain Satch will be very happy and rich. And you all will probably get big bonuses.
Yeah, see, that's if we share it, right? That's if we share it.
Yeah, what if we just built a ship, guys, and we could just use these levy to power the ship, and who needs those other guys? Am I right?
Valerian looks at you like, and Goryo like, that sounds like mutiny. Oh.
Watherin says, Captain, it's up to you. You're in charge. Out here, this is your vessel. You tell me what we're doing.
I don't need any of you dogs to tell me a damn lick of this. Now shut up. I've got a splitting headache. I need to think. He's like, the boat's completely weightless. Enma travels and he starts muttering in nautical terms about how fast he thinks Enma's going and how fast he thinks that they can possibly catch up with Enma if they start traveling.
Fujin's faster than this boat will ever be. Even
Yeah.
completely weightless.
Yeah.
It has big sails.
Yeah. All right. I think
Yeah, but if there's no wind, Fujin can't go nowhere.
It's true.
Yeah, I suppose at this point we just need to head back. So Goria says, all right, we've done what we can. Head back to the mothership.
All right.
Hey, while we're out there and Watherin's doing his junk, he's going to pocket some chips of levy.
Some chips?
I don't know, some pieces that if he can. If there's little bits and pieces that'll fit in like a pouch or pocket or whatever.
There's nothing like that.
Okay, then never mind.
Plus, your pockets would make you float.
That's all right.
You could fake that, but yeah, there's you didn't find anything like that.
Okay.
One more thing, and then before you go back to the Fujin, and we go on our 9:00 break. Malmer you feel a sensation in your mind. It's definitely not Chernobog, but it is familiar. It's trying to get in. It's tapping on the door of your mind. It wants something with your memories. And if you want to resist that, roll me deception to try and fake where your memories are, or produce fake memories for it to find. Otherwise,
Let's go with otherwise.
it goes back and you can feel it. You see a scene. This is a scene from your past where you and a business partner one night in one of the inns in Three Ways, after a very successful and not entirely legal adventure, became more than friends. And you see opening as the boat slides past. Behind you, following after, a large eye, a pair of gleaming claws, in a hood with spikes. And you hear in your mind, it's me. Don't you remember? It's me. And it is the voice of Ferraria.
I I think Gorio breaks into a cold sweat. How? How? How did you find me? You hear Gorio's voice mutter out loud.
You don't get much from this the psychic twinge. But you do see that this Nothic and maybe some number of its companions are following stealthily the progress of your boat as you head back to the future. And that is where we will take our break, and we will see these characters again when we come back into season 2, act 3.
Act 3.
Very good.
Welcome back. We have just completed Act 2 for 2 of our characters, and I want to do just one quick scene with on the other side of the Cloudy Sea, just to catch up real quick with Fennetir before we drop them into Act 3 as well, just to close out Act 2, if we can. Fennetir, what are your sleeping arrangements like in the Temple of Pan, which is really more like the small shack of Pan?
There are definitely hammocks just hanging up. You can just drop into a hammock whenever you want, especially during one of the sermons of Pawn, just kicking back, swinging.
That sounds right. Is there a door? I guess there must be a door. There's a loud rapping at the door.
I wake up. Am I asleep? Is that what's going on?
It's morning time.
So I'm asleep.
Well, you're probably asleep, but your character has had a full rest since the events of last episode.
Let me push that long rest button.
Karaak, you can push the long rest button as well. Although you are not with Fennetir at this time, you are extremely well hidden in the woods outside town.
Yep.
And we probably are not going to see you this episode.
Nobody's finding me unless I want to be found.
Is Fennetir still like mildly worried about an insane guy from Paylor?
Yeah, you should be.
Okay, so like Fennetir's all like, "Oh man,
so.
they knocking at the door." Fennetir like falls out of his hammock and heads toward the back door. He tries to hide.
Roll me up. You're gonna try and sneak
Very
out.
well.
Getting seen by whoever's in front.
Yeah, he rolled an 18 plus 4 plus 4, so whatever that is, 26.
Yeah. You sneak out the back without encountering whoever is knocking at the front door, unless you
I'd
want.
like to edge around and see who it is, see if I recognize him.
You do recognize him. It is Captain Sachyama, the owner, one of the 3 owners of the Fujin, along with his sister and Captain Goryo.
Oh yeah, I don't want to talk to that guy.
He says, "Come now, I heard you are in there. What's happened to my ship? You scurrilous priest, tell me what's happened to my ship." He's yelling, he's thinking that you're inside of there. He's yelling in there.
Yeah, Fennetir just takes his levy stick and heads away from that whole temple-related issue.
And you make your way to the prearranged meeting place with Karaok.
Yeah.
You do indeed meet up with Karaok. You are carrying a item which points the direction through the across the Swamp Eternal, which is this not hellish, but this dangerous landscape where there are bottomless pits and swamps and oozes intermixed with forests and trails. Fierce beasts live there. As you go along your way towards where you are sure that Karauk will be able to find you, because you will not be able to find him. That is definitely one of those you don't find him, he finds you scenarios with this Lizard Man Ranger.
Mhm.
You do
Just
see,
in
however,
case you want something to sneak up on me, remember that my passive perception is 19.
right? No, you have very good passive perception, and that is why you notice that there are some goose knights flying overhead as well.
Oh yeah, those guys.
But
Those
we're
goose
going
knights.
to, we'll start with, I guess, you meet up.
Yeah. He probably like after once you get out of, well, like once you've left the town behind, um, Karaok reveals himself.
Hey man, how's it going?
Finds
Do you have a good
you find him walking along beside you at some point. Hello.
Where'd you come from?
Good morning.
You ready to go find this book?
Yes, I am ready. Are you ready?
Oh, I'm so ready. And I'm also very excited. I did some reading while we were in three-way. Well, while I was in three-way. I don't know where you were.
Indeed.
And I have some things that you might be interested in once we find the book.
What kind of things?
Well, you know how you have that necklace that says Paylor on it?
Yes.
I may be able to remove it.
Yes. Let us go then. Karak seems to perk up a bit at this, and
Excellent. That's exciting. Unless you have more to say, the camera is going to move up and away from you as you step through the forest and make your way into Act 3. And we're going to do one final little teaser where the wild-haired, crazy-eyed priest of Paylor called Issa, with his who we like to begin and end these stories with, who we began Act 1 with.
Oh yeah, he said that the Kraken was going to kill us.
Yes, with his gnarled hands, we see him giving a old, creased up, much folded and unfolded parchment map to the young, brawny, and idealistic and vengeful paladin, Mr. P.
Priapus, servant of Paylor, paladin of retribution.
Mr. P.
And then
You can say Mr. P, but only if every time in a 1960s James Bond-esque you say Mr. P. Oh.
I just don't want to. It's so dirty. It's not that. Okay.
It's supposed to be G-rated.
Flustered confusion. We are going to go ahead and draw a close to Act 2 of Season 2 of the Starfall Collective. Join us next week for the beginning of Act 3, which will prove to be extremely exciting and worthwhile in many different respects.
I promise.
I don't think we're going to do experience. I think there's going to be a new experience system next time. I haven't quite determined exactly what it's going to be. But that is all for tonight. Thank you very much for joining us. And tune in this same time next week for another exciting episode. And remember, failure is beautiful.
Success is